Money is time. Time is money. We know that, right? But we know time is the most important thing we have as a human species or a human being on this planet, because it's the one thing that does run out. But money is God to some people, right? These type of tracks remind you of how money affects the everyday existence. But what money really is, it's a currency, it's an energy, it's a tool. Money can buy back your time. I can see my life back as a movie, and this being the soundtrack to it. We're rocking with Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, full album reaction. Let's listen to The Great Gig in the Sky. Amazing piano work.
Should I be frightened of dying? There's no reason for it. You've got to go sometime.
Bro, that buildup with those pianos, like we're playing piano at the pearly gates and we just walked through the gates of heaven and there's an awesome gospel concert going on. After we just listened to Time, which is always fleeting. Crazy. Freaking crazy. This is Claire Torrey, right? Claire Torrey? Take him to church. Pink Floyd is only about the music. They're only about the music. I say that from the point of view as a rap artist who didn't know my programming was being programmed to be all about the lyrics and the vocalist. Not blaming anyone for that programming, just how it went, not being like, oh, woe is me. But I've just realized that a huge segment of music I've disregarded for my whole life because I didn't play an instrument and I didn't value instrument representation in music, right? I am a hip-hop kid to the core. Some of you guys know the story. You know, my parents are super Christian, so we listen to a lot of gospel music and Christian music in our household. I lived in Germany for a stint of time. There was only one radio station, AFN. And my parents listened to like soul and Motown. And when I was able to curate my own music, I only listened to rap and hip hop. Little country music, slipped in, some pop punk from MTV. But, really I was an underground backpack hip hop head, listening to indie rap for the most part. I did like some commercial stuff, Wu-Tang Clan, anyways. I never appreciated instrumentation, which is pretty wild. People are probably like, what the people always kind of like almost shame me. I just don't take it as shame because I don't give a F. Like when I get in front of this camera, I just open up. I'm probably more open here than I am anywhere else in the world, right? I'm kind of guarded, as a man, you have to be, be stoic, in certain situations and stuff. But I really do open up here. I don't know why that is. But anyways, Pink Floyd is all about the music. And that last run, even though there was vocals, there was no lyrics. It was just about what is this going to make you feel like musically? And how does it get interpreted by the listener? And where does it fit? The vocals were frickin' amazing. But, the great gig in the sky felt like it's a party in heaven. That's what I was thinking. But it got really frantic. Almost like you're in an evangelical church, right? Where they're speaking in tongues. Be healed! Got really frantic, almost scary in a moment. That said something to me. The way it transitioned right into what I believe is money and went ching. The storytelling within this music, we're not even halfway through the album yet. It's pretty freaking bonkers, to say the least. Got me a little shook up during time. Time for me connects with money heavily. Also, I don't know if Alan Parsons is the reason we're hearing the way the story's being told, like some of the intricate effects on the vocals, on the voices, let's say. But even on these skits, for example, on The Run, how you're hearing these voices, but you can't really make out what they're saying totally, but they're speaking English. You can hear it. It's like kind of far away, and it's like giving you room for your own interpretation of where you want to be in this situation. And then the stuff that you can make out, I'm guessing it's deliberate. At the beginning of the intro with a speak to me, some of the things you could make out, like I'm mad or whatever. I don't know. This is really fun. I'm enjoying this. All right, here we go. Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. And it's a full album reaction with your boy. Cash register. Let's get it. Different sounds of money being accumulated. we go into this crazy guitar work, this is a song I have heard and reacted to before, but I never really added it to my playlist. So re-listening to it with fresh ears got me amped. Money is a season of my life. Money is a season in my life story.
Hold up. Hey.
So, this song is just amazing from start to finish. From the cash register, from the sound effects of the different money being accumulated, to utilizing that money as like a percussion as we're starting the track, and then speaking about money and going to the depths of money. And, you know, I wrote this down briefly, but money is time. Time is money. We know that, right? But we know time is the most important thing we have as a human species or a human being on this planet, right? Because it's the one thing that does run out. Time and health. Time and health, the most important things. Time and health, yep. But money is God to some people, right? These type of tracks remind you of how money affects the everyday existence, right? In the hamster wheel. Money is time. Time is the most valuable thing we have. Time and health. Some people treat money as God. Money is God. It's the all, everything to them. In God we trust, right? Money. But what money really is, it's a currency, it's an energy, it's a tool. So money is a tool. It's not God. No. Money can buy back your time, which is your most precious resource. Money can buy back your time. It's a tool. But how do you balance that tool without getting greedy? Anyways, let's listen. We're rocking with Pink Floyd, you guys. Dark Side of the Moon. Is that a saxophone?
crime.
Hold on, before we get into the so this song takes you to so many places. When we're doing the vocals, it's funky. And when I said it's a season of my life, I can see my life back as a movie and this being the soundtrack to it. You know, when I was younger, on the come up, we would do shows and we would sell CDs after the shows. And back then you had physical CDs and cash. You know, and we would go to the record stores or we'd stand on the street corners and sell CDs. We'd go to the mall and talk to people and try to sell our music to the people hand to hand, and they would give us cash. Even when security would kick us out the mall. We did whatever we could to get our music in people's hand and get what? Cash money. Why? Because we wanted to live off of our art. We didn't want to work a 9 to 5. We wanted to be free. We wanted to be free. This is what we wanted. This is what I wanted. And I had a season of my life driving in the bucket, driving in the old school. Well, I wasn't in the old school. I wasn't that cool. I was actually in a Honda Accord. Let's keep it real here. But the Honda Accord with a dent in the door. You know what I mean? Pulling up on people. Hey, man, I make music. Check this out. And as you panhandle and hustle, the one thing you learn is to get a sale, you have to put the product in their hand. If you can't get it in their hand, selling it to it, it's so easy for them to just blow you off. Hey, man, I'm good today, dog. Hey, man, just hear me out, brother. You got to put the CD in their hand, then pull out the Walkman. Hey, just listen to this. I'm just asking $5, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's an extra value meal, and you get this music, and you support an independent artist like me, bro. You hear it, man? That don't sound good to you, bro? Let me get that money. That money. Yeah. This was a season, a soundtrack to my life. And I know they're going into depth of money and living for it in different means. But me being an artist and wanting to be free, the money was essentially the key to give me that freedom to free my time. Anyways, I'm almost done with my first page of notes. We'll go over it after money.
Money, it's a crime. Share it fairly, but don't take a slice of my pie. Money, so they say, is the root of all evil today. But if you ask for a rise, it's no surprise that they're giving none away. Away,
I was in the right.
Yes, absolutely right.
I certainly was in the right.
It's definitely like he was cruising for bruising.
I don't know, I was really drunk at the time.
You just told me it was plugged into number 2. He was asking why it wasn't coming up on 3011. So after yelling and screaming and telling him why it wasn't coming up on 3011, and for heavy blood started to matter out. You just told me.
I don't know, I was really drunk at the time.
Wow. So we went from this funky, money track. We have some talking. And then we go directly into the cathedral. Us and them. I don't know where we're going with, but let's go over our notes. I'm going to go ahead and jump off a cliff now that we're over halfway through the album, that this is one of the albums that is made to experience in its entirety. Listening to just one song on this album does this injustice, and I almost did this album injustice by just randomly reacting to songs to this, and you guys were right in that aspect. So was my buddy Brock. It's incredible. This I almost feel like this was meant to be released in its entirety, this reaction. And I don't know if I'm going to have to go to war with YouTube and the record label to do that. But the experience I'm having, I'm going to put this out in its entirety. Then later, maybe it'll be in halves and different, tracks. But I'm going to fight to put this out in its entirety because it's just how they did this. They did this. I didn't do it, you guys. They made this piece of art, and I feel like I don't do it justice by not at least having one version released in its entirety and me breaking down what I'm thinking, feeling, etc. And I don't know how that looks on paper. But anyways, so the notes that I have so far, we've reached Us and Them. We just listened to Money. We started off with the intro, Speak to Me. And I felt that was, mind-bending and psychological, and we got within the dynamics of our heart and our mind. A little chaotic there. And then we were told to breathe, let it be. In my words from a quote, life is too serious. Don't take life so serious. We're not going to get out alive. On the Run immediately grabs your heart, and you're running. You're breaking out of the facility. You're breaking out of the box. You're breaking out of the concentration camp. But they still want you. They're still chasing you. Whether it's your mind, body, or soul, you're still being chased. And then we go into Time, which is all important. On that track, I had an emotional experience connecting my time that was lost with my mother, rest her soul, and the time that I spend with my children currently in my family, and how important that is to me. Then we go into The Great Gig in the Sky, which symbolizes almost like the end of a physical time and going to a spiritual place, a place where we can let go and have a spiritual experience, where there's beauty or a little bit of chaotic, which we heard in the vocals from, I believe, Claire Torrey. And Great Gig in the Sky was just music and vocals without lyrics. It is the true example of music because anyone can listen to it and get a feeling, because without lyrics, that doesn't need to be translated. The universal language was used there to touch every person from all times, all races, all colors and creeds. And what more of a spiritual thing to do with music than title it The Great Gig in the Sky? Heaven, the pearly gates, paradise, the great gig. And then we went to Money. Money, which we all spend our time for money. Some people look at money as God, which I don't believe you should look at money as God. It's not the end-all, be-all. The most important thing in your human existence is actually time and your health. But I digress. Money can be looked at as time, God, but money is just a tool to get back your time so you can have freedom at some capacity. And Money was actually a soundtrack to my life at one point, trying to get the money as a starving artist to live off of my art so I did not have to go back to my 9-to-5 job, which they speak about the concept of the people or persons who have to work a 9-to-5 job. And I throw no salt or shade if you have to grind and hustle in the 9-to-5 world. I did that for many of years. It's important. It's important not to just quit and just be like, oh, I'm going to just, couch surf and live off the whatever. There's something to developing skills from hard work, regardless if you're getting paid properly for it. That's a whole nother conversation in itself. But developing those skills, those good habits and ethics to get yourself to the next level is important. So when you're in the trenches, when you're in the grind, don't let people shame you or look down on you. Gain those skills. Take your life to the next level.